Okay, guys, here's an important candidate. I'm very, very happy to introduce you to State Senator Mike Noland from the state of Illinois. He's running for Illinois' District 8 congressional seat. And this is an important seat because it's been held by Tammy Duckworth, who's a great progressive, and we want to keep up that tradition in this seat and in this district. The problem we have is that Mike Noland is running for this proverbial establishment-supported, corporate, kind of Wall Street-backed Democrat. And so, as we say here so often, there's something going on here. It's not only a political revolution in terms of the country, but it's a political revolution within the Democratic Party as well, interestingly enough, as within the Republicans. So there are many Democrats who vote in ways that many of us would have associated before with values that are not particularly represented by the Democratic Party. This is why it's so important that we know about people like Mike Noland, the candidates who not only are running as Democrats, but these primaries are so important because the kind of democratic values that they stand on. So, Mike Noland, welcome. So wonderful to have you here with us.
Hey, it's my pleasure. I really do appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you so much. I know that you yourself started shining shoes at the age of 8. Tell us a little bit about your experiences as a human being and what brought you both personally and professionally to the point where you want to run for this seat.
Well, as you point out, I started shining shoes when I was 8 years old. I had to work like so many people here in our country, and certainly in this district. Had to work my way all the way through high school to, quite frankly, to help my family make ends meet. Did a stint in the Navy as a hospital corpsman. Once I separated from the Navy, I then continued my education. I had to work all the way through college, worked my way through an MBA and through law school, still paying off those law school loans. And, it's been the process of both struggle and success. I've been state senator for the last 9 years here in the state of Illinois, serving the people of the northwest suburbs in the Elgin-Schaumburg area. And I tell you, I think that my life experiences and my vision for this district is far more reflective of this district and, quite frankly, the nation at large. This district is a microcosm of the nation as a whole, and I'm very much looking forward to representing it.
Well, the very idea that you are a state senator yourself, but at the age of 55 years old, you are still paying off those college loans. So I assume that means you agree with Senator Sanders about making community college free in the United States?
Absolutely, and I'm a product of the community college system here in the state of Illinois. Graduated from Elgin Community College. Now, I got a little bit later start in my legal career. I went to law school, didn't start until I was in my 30s. But nonetheless, it's still a good 20 years here that I'm still finishing paying off those law school loans. And so I agree. We need to make community college free. Put a little bit more pressure on maybe those colleges and universities to provide cost-effective college education at the administrative, given the administrative aspect of providing that education. Yeah. And I look forward to fighting for that.
Well, once again, and we're not negative about any candidates, but your opponent in this primary race, once again, really wanting progressives to understand how important these primary races are. This person is more of a representative of a kind of wealthy segment of the population, and not that being wealthy is a bad thing at all. But we want everybody to have a chance in America, and to me, that's why something like free public colleges and why free healthcare, universal healthcare, all of these things enable people to have more discretionary income and more education so they can get in the game. But until we get the money out of politics, none of this is really going to change that much, is it, Mike?
No, I couldn't agree more.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do about that when you're in Congress? If we send you to Congress, tell me about the things not only that you believe, but that you would do and the efforts you would be part of to deal once and for all with breaking the back of this oligarchic pattern.
Well, we're going to make campaigns publicly financed. I think
Tell me how we're going to do that. I totally agree with you. Public financing of federal campaigns. Tell me how you're going to do it.
Well, we're going to incent candidates to self-impose caps on the contributions that they would receive. Here in the state of Illinois, I carry publicly financed campaigns here, and that's exactly what we do. And we can negotiate, what those caps ought to be, whether it be $500, $1,000, maybe $2,500 at the most.
Wait.
You know?
Let me go over this. You're saying that you're going to incentivize candidates to voluntarily put a cap, right?
Well, if we can make it otherwise, if we can actually impose that on the overall system, I'm happy to do that. I'm trying to be a little bit more pragmatic. I know that there's going to be resistance, but you can count on me to vote for imposing those caps as strongly and as stringently as we can. And $50 here, $100 there. Really make it so that candidates have to raise money from many different contributors as much as possible. So that, and then also offer a public component where we're matching those contributions, so that if you're able to make outreach to 1,000 or more contributors who are going to contribute $50 here, $100 there, which is what I've been raising here today, quite frankly. And, I really want you to know that progressives really are the mainstream. It's a fact. I knock on these doors every day. I make phone calls to people every day when I'm not fundraising, right? Of course. So we spill out into the streets every night. We knock on these doors, even in sub-zero weather. And I want you to know that people are truly desirous of publicly financed campaigns. They want Citizens United rolled back. They want single-payer universal health care. They want true access to health care. And they want to be able to educate their children, okay?
Well, Mike, I could not agree with you more. Eloquently stated, and it is so true. What some people today are trying to call leftist ideas would be in the norm of any progressive country in the world today, right smack dab in the middle. So let's remember, Mike Noland has a race that's coming up. This primary is important. It's March 15th. So go to nolandforcongress.com. nolandforcongress.com. Let's help this man win his primary, because he would help us in the U.S. Congress. Mike, thank you, and all our best.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everybody. I want to introduce you to Mike Moneypenny. We're very excited that Mike is here with us. He is a member of the West Virginia House of Delegates. He was from 2009 until January 2015, where he was considered the most progressive member of West Virginia state legislature. He is now running for Congress in West Virginia District 1 against an incumbent Republican named David McKinley. Now, Mike Moneypenny, for many reasons that you're going to hear about, is someone who we very, very much need. West Virginia needs him, but we in the United States need him. So, Mike, welcome to the summit. So glad that you're here with us.
Well, thank you for having me here today, Marianne.
You stood for some important issues, Mike, in West Virginia, and issues that you would bring to the fore in the U.S. Congress as a member there. Please tell us what's most on your heart and what's most on your mind in terms of where you think we need to go as a nation.
Well, I have always been a strong advocate for fighting to protect our environment. I believe water is our most precious resource. Here in West Virginia, most people think that coal is our most precious resource. However, we still need our jobs in the coal industry in West Virginia. And I've been working to try and diversify our economy to make sure that our young population sticks around, but we've been bleeding at the seams. People have been leaving the state faster than any other state in the country because of the policies that we've passed here.
When you say that, people are leaving the state faster than any other state because of the policies we pass here. Tell me what these policies are that make the state anathema to its own young.
One of the big things that is causing the outsourcing of our young people from West Virginia is the policies that the legislature keeps passing, endorsing the corporate move to pollute for profit. The coal industry, the oil and gas industry, they have influenced politics in West Virginia for so long and have convinced everybody that if they don't reduce and eliminate regulations, that they're going to go out of business.
That's a great way to put it, pollute for profit. Pollute for profit. And that, of course,
that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's a kind of, West Virginia is a ground zero, but it's a template that you see played out around the country with fracking and so forth. And obviously, we sort of take that we take that mentality in many of our foreign policies as well. How is now you're running in a primary, and that's on May 5th?
Actually, I'm unopposed in the primary.
Oh, that's good news. I see you have a lot of feelings about medical marijuana, about marijuana legalization. Tell us about that.
Yes, I was the first to ever introduce a bill to allow a doctor to recommend medical marijuana in West Virginia for a list of chronic ailments, such as many of the other states, and have advocated for that ever since. The We had a very good chance of getting it passed until the transition in 2015, when the Republicans won a majority in the House and the Senate. I continue to fight and advocate for legalization of medical marijuana, and believe that it's time to take that to the federal level, because my opponent is probably one of the biggest anti-cannabis candidates in Congress.
Mm-hmm. And very much, I suppose, a representative and who really stands for the policies of the corporate interests, not only in West Virginia but around the country, that would pollute for profit and put short-term economic gain for their own corporate interests above the common good of the American people.
Yeah, David McKinley has consistently fought to prop up the coal industry, and has introduced many pieces of legislation to deregulate the management of coal ash throughout America. And it is one of the biggest and most toxic pollutants that we have out there.
How long has your opponent been in office?
6 years.
Is this considered from an establishment perspective a winnable seat for you, Mike?
Actually, it's not. However, I have a winning strategy that we put together. We've been working on polling the different demographics, and much like Bernie has been enticing the young people to come into his campaign, I've been doing the same, and we have over 170 volunteers across the state, and we're organizing and trying to raise money so we can run a competitive campaign.
It's so important that people such as yourself are articulating these possibilities, and so important that those of us who agree with you show up for you, so that, like I said, you can show up for us. Mike, I hope you win your race. I hope you stay in there. I'm once again, your primary date, but you are unopposed in your primary, and I wish you the very best, and I hope your website is Mike Minipenny for Congress.com, and I hope that everything goes real well for you, that we will hear more from you, and that you can look to us as a place where you can get your message out even louder, even clearer, and get you into the U.S. House of Representatives.
Thank you, Marianne. We're working to get Bernie elected here in West Virginia.
Absolutely. Go Bernie. So with you on
Thank
that.
you.
We'll keep it up. Thank you so much. Bye. That's it for this episode. I hope that you enjoyed these interviews, and that you will continue to be with us for this progressive online summit, that you will continue to meet the candidates who can make the difference. We'll help them so they can help us. Thanks.